But it also requires a tremendous amount of understanding that the amount of people that you impact is entirely dependent on the amount of income that you have coming into your organization. So my philanthropy continues to some degree, to a major degree, as I have decided to forfeit some of my other initiatives to make sure that I can concentrate on the dental aspect of things. I've not been super passionate about oral health my whole life. I'm a dentist, by the way, 6 days a week. I do other things too, but I'm not sure what's going on upstairs. But my community involvement is a massive, massive part of me feeling satisfied in my career, because if I have the knowledge, the discipline, and the desire that perhaps other people are lacking in society, I feel it's my responsibility to invest time, money, and energy into giving back, which is part of the reason that I do all these videos when I really don't have to at all. Community involvement is a massive, massive part of increasing my network, and is also a massive part of how much satisfaction I get out of my job and out of my position in life. So what I've come up with, which you guys might know, is a nonprofit that distributes dental kits and provides preventative education to people. And the idea behind this is that healthcare, over time, the costs of healthcare have increased by virtue of having more remedies to more situations, but also by virtue of having people that are not learning the basic information to be healthy, because they know that the system will support them in their lack of health. And I just don't think it's fair on the system, and I don't think it's fair on our communities and our families to not put out information that we know is actually beneficial and helpful to people. Now, should we do it for free? I don't know. It's up to you. But I think a large part of building wealth in general comes down to how much we give away. Whatever you want in life, you give it away. That's at least the philosophy I stick by many times. So the community involvement, the Bright Smiles Community Outreach Coalition, currently I sit on the board, Jennifer Reed sits on the board, and Courtney King sit on the board, and Christine Moss sits on the board. And we are going through the process of getting 501c3 status, which means that for a nonprofit, you can be a nonprofit, and you can just label yourself as a nonprofit. But in order to get federal funding, in order to get tax deductions on contributions that are being given to you, you need to have 501c3 status. So I'm applying for that right now. And mind you, if those of you that want to start a nonprofit in general, it's a lot more headache than you think. And it's still basically a business. So if you want to start a nonprofit, you basically want to start a business. And starting a business and owning a business is not easy. Like, it's probably harder than doing work. Natalie Dawson actually said something beautiful about this. She said, as an employee, you can hate your boss and then go home and do whatever the fuck you want. But as a boss and a business owner, you can hate your boss, but you go home with them, right? You go to sleep with yourself and, you think about things. So there's really no escaping it. So nonprofit's like this really fruity kind of exciting thing for a lot of people. And then you get into the weeds and you just realize it's another business if run properly. And so I've discovered a lot about the nonprofit space. I've discovered a lot about the naivete of people that want to give free service to the community. And a lot of the naivete comes from, listen, you only have so much time. You want to have healthy food and, I assume, a house and a car and time to go and do other things that you want to do. But that doesn't mean that you're going to have those things if you put in the time for a nonprofit, right? If you're just a volunteer and that's what you do most of the time, you'll be living hand to mouth regardless, which is a phenomenal thing if you're willing to do that and sacrifice the other things to get that. But it's not as sexy as everyone assumes it is from the outside, just like it's not as sexy as to own a business as it is from the outside. It's actually really hard. It's satisfying, but hard. And what I've discovered about the nonprofit space is a lot of it comes down to not only providing the service that you say that you're going to provide, having a really strong mission, vision, core values, and a really strong delivery method for your thing. But it also requires a tremendous amount of understanding that the amount of people that you impact is entirely dependent on the amount of income that you have coming into your organization. And the efficiency with which you provide that will come down to the quality of people that are in your organization. On top of that, you have to be so passionate about what you're doing that you are unapologetic in asking for resources from people, because you know that the thing that you're doing is just that important. It's a very passion-driven process. Very, very passion-driven process. And you got to make sure the passion's there. So for me, when I went into dental school in particular, I haven't always been super passionate about being a dentist, but I have always been very passionate about public health and actually giving people access to the knowledge that I have. When I discovered the acid cycle and the brushing habits or brushing technique, I was like, these two things, these should go out to as many people as possible. But again, it requires a lot of time to build these things. It requires a lot of time to be on a board or to manage a board or to get board members. And you got to get out there to go and find those people. So what I'm doing a lot these days is getting involved with the American Dental Association, Ohio Dental Association, to make sure that anyone that I can find in the dental space or the public health space, that I'm letting them know about this nonprofit and be like, dude, come and help me out. Come, let's work on this thing. And hopefully I can get the Ohio Dental Association to actually support it to some major degree. But also a lot of grants. Governor DeWine started an initiative based on what we were trying to accomplish and what we are accomplishing, really. But our meeting with him tomorrow actually got postponed. And I'm very upset about that. But again, it comes down to the people. Are the people reaching out to the right people to do the right things, to spend the time the right way? And my philosophy is you got to be out there networking. You got to be out there really throwing what you're passionate about to people that are interested, that want to listen. And probably to people that's going to piss them off a little bit too. You kind of got to be unapologetic about throwing these things out. So if you want to donate to Bright Smiles Community Outreach Coalition, go to brightsmiles.charity. Go ahead and support this amazing cause. And I promise you that in, I don't know, less time than I imagine, we're going to be distributing 10,000 kits a month. And we're going to have volunteers and stuff all over the world. And we're going to do incredible things, really incredible things. And hopefully the medical community will join us. And hopefully we'll have a society that really understands the bare basics of how to prevent their disease. So if you want to join the cause, or if you're interested in being part of the nonprofit, or you have a nonprofit that wants to do a partnership, throw a comment below or share this video with someone that has. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.